Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The Republicans are projected to win the House of Representatives following last week's elections, meaning Mr. Trump's party will run the White House and all of Congress.
Well, I'm honored to be here with my colleagues from the House Freedom Caucus.
Donald Trump has made more key appointments as he prepares for his White House return in January. Congressman Matt Gaetz is named as Attorney General, an announcement greeted with some shock in Washington. Since the nomination, Gaetz has resigned from Congress, where he remained under scrutiny of the House Ethics Committee over allegations of sexual misconduct. A new study says the number of people dying because of the civil war in Sudan is significantly higher than previously reported. More than 61,000 people have died in Khartoum state, where the fighting began last year, according to a report by the London School of Hygiene and Medicine's Sudan Research Group. Of these, 26,000 people were killed as a direct result of the violence, it said, noting that the leading cause of death across the Sudan was preventable disease and starvation. Many more people have died elsewhere in the country, especially in the western region of Darfur, where there have been numerous reports of atrocities and ethnic cleansing. A man who tried to attack Brazil's Supreme Court in the capital Brasilia on Wednesday is believed to have been killed by his own explosives. Police have named the man as Francisco Wanderlei Luiz, who stood unsuccessfully in council elections for ex-President Jair Bolsonaro's Liberal Party. He was found dead outside the building shortly after 2 blasts rocked the area. Bystanders said they saw him throwing what appeared to be explosives before the detonation. Nobody else was hurt in the incident. New Zealand's parliament was brought to a temporary halt by MPs performing a haka amid anger over a controversial bill seeking to reinterpret the country's founding treaty with Maori people. Opposition party MP Hanarawati Maipi Clark began the traditional ceremonial group dance after being asked whether her party supported the bill. Thousands have already joined the 10-day march against the bill. The country is often considered a leader in indigenous rights, but opponents of the bill fear those same rights are being put at risk by this bill. Swedish environmental activist Greta Thunberg has reiterated her criticisms of the decision to hold the UN climate change conference COP29 in Azerbaijan. Greta Thunberg branded the choice as an extreme hypocrisy, pointing out both Baku's human rights record and the humanitarian consequences of the conflict in the Nagorno-Karabakh region. Thunberg became a prominent climate campaigner after staging weekly protests in front of the Swedish parliament in 2018. Earlier this month, she joined protesters in Tbilisi in Georgia.
The continuous extreme hardships that many Armenians are facing because of the Azerbaijani military aggression, the torture, forcefully displacement, prisoners of war, hostages, and the ethnic cleansing and the extreme physical and psychological violence that people have experienced can in absolutely no way be justified.
The Pope has met with Israeli hostages freed by Hamas at the Vatican.
How are you feeling?
He shook hands and spoke to survivors, many of whom were holding pictures of hostages still being held by the group. Over 100 hostages out of 251 taken by Hamas on the 7th of October remain unaccounted for. And King Charles has marked his 76th birthday by opening a new hub in southeast London as part of his project to distribute surplus produce to people in food poverty. The King is treating his birthday as a working day and travelled to Deptford on the first anniversary of the Coronation Food Project, which aims to make better use of food that would otherwise be thrown away. Volunteers from the Felix Project, who will run the Deptford hub, waved flags and cheered as the King arrived. Ceremonial gun salutes have also been fired to mark the monarch's birthday at Green Park near Buckingham Palace and at the Tower of London. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.